Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Remember to like and subscribe to unlock your true potential next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Shulk to celebrate the release of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, a game that comes out tomorrow. So how was I able to write the build? Maybe I can see into the future because of a magic sword. Or the game's a remake.
Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel that I can see your soul?
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need a Monado, a magical sword that can carve through a mechon, which are robots for the uninitiated. Next, we need to see into the future, which you might think would make your life a breeze, seeing trouble from a distance, but it's not that easy. Finally, we need to be an artist, or at least have the ability to use different arts with our fancy sword. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, but you gotta keep that dexterity and intelligence high. Dexterity is gonna be number 1. Your Monado can only backslash if it's finesse, so we'll call it a scimitar. Intelligence next. You're a nerd who likes to study and research. This will help with that. Strength after that. You're pretty good at jumping, running, climbing. Look, Sakurai gave you a beach outfit. You're in good shape. Follow that up with wisdom. You can see into the future. I bet you could see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Constitution's a bit low. You're not the tank of the party, but it hurts to dump, so drop charisma instead. You're hot, not charming. There's a difference. Believe me, I know. Shulk is a human. Well, he's a Homs, which is a human. There's a spoiler that could change his race, but I think a lot of people are going to be playing Xenoblade for the first time when it hits the Switch, so I don't want to ruin it. And let's just say that the abilities from Beyond T wouldn't really work for his character anyway. Whoops, there's the spoiler. He's a snake. If you played the games, you know he's not a snake. I'm trying to throw people off the scent. Variant humans get a feat. The lucky feat will give you 3 luck die you can use to reroll ability checks, saving throws, or attack rolls, or give an enemy disadvantage to hit you for a little sneak peek of what's about to happen. Up your strength and dexterity with your 2 free points. Take Arcana for your skill of choice, and the Archaeologist background for history and survival skills because you're kind of a dork, but that's okay. Smart is cool, right? To try and get Shulk's skills in the order he gets them in the games, we're going to kick things off as a rogue, letting us take 4 skills from the rogue list. Acrobatics, athletics, investigation, and perception are all good options. We're really here for sneak attack. That's the most backslashy ability in D&D, letting you add an extra d6 to the damage roll when you have advantage on an attack roll or an ally within 5 feet, helping you get in the right place for some extra oomph. You also get expertise to double your proficiency bonus for skills of your choice. I'd say Arcana and History would be the best options. While you're physically strong, you're not tossing boulders or anything. Second level rogues get Cunning Action, letting you dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action for some extra speed to help you get in a more advantageous position, or to run away. If Ryan goes down, you need to bail. That's just a fact. Third level rogues can choose a martial archetype, and you're a master of your mind, so why not be a mastermind? Just because Master of Intrigue doesn't fit Shulk at all, giving you a disguise kit, forgery kit, and gaming set proficiency, and the ability to mimic voices? Okay, that's fair. But Master of Tactics will let you help as a bonus action to give an ally advantage on an ability check or an attack roll with an extended range of 30 feet rather than 5. I could see this as a chain attack starter or a way to use the Monado to help your friends. Your sneak attack also bumps up to 2d6 here. Bouncing over to Wizard now, which I think is the best way to unlock the power of the Monado. Hexblade was considered, but the spell list is too limited. Paladin as well, but that spell list is even worse. And also, Shulk is not charismatic, so 13 charisma would feel wrong. You unlock a Monado's powers by studying it after all. That's a wizard. Wizards can put 6 spells into their spellbook at first level, but that's a lot to talk about. I definitely could think of 6 first level spells, but in the interest of brevity, why don't we focus on the amount of prepared spells you can have per day and let everyone pick their own favorite spells at home. Shield is a good armor spell. It adds 5 to your AC as a reaction, but Mage Armor is a more sustained armor spell, making a creature's AC 13 plus their dexterity for 8 hours. They just can't be wearing armor, so too bad Rhine. Maybe I'll do a Rhine build eventually. I feel like he's not exactly going to need a lot of help in the AC department. Jump triples a target's jump distance for a minute. I know the jump art got added in Smash, but Smash is canon to me, darn it. For your cantrips, True Strike is going on this build because of some people in the Captra videos comments, so remember, not everything is made for you. If a reboot of a show can ruin your childhood, that's an admission that you live a privileged and fragile life. Real tragedy would destroy you. Nostalgia is poison. It also gives you advantage on a weapon attack next turn if you're having some trouble getting your sneak attack going, but you gotta maintain concentration on it, so a lot of times it's just best to attack twice. Blade Ward gives you resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage until the end of your next turn for a little more armor. Light affixes a light to something that glows in a 10-foot radius. If your DM won't give you a magical shiny sword, you might have to make your own. Wizards also get Arcane Recovery, letting you recover spell slots equal to half your wizard level on a short rest, so your magic sword doesn't run out of charges quite as quickly. Second level wizards can choose a wizard school. Divination wizards get Portents, letting you roll d20s at the start of each long rest that you hold on to, and you can replace an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw of a creature you see sometime in the next day. If you roll high, give it to yourself. If you roll low, give it to your enemy. With this, you'll be able to change the future if you're feeling it anyway. For this level spell, Longstrider increases the target's movement speed by 10 feet. Obviously, that's for the speed art. You can almost outrun Sonic, and I'm told he's pretty fast. Third level wizards can learn second level spells. Magic Weapon makes a weapon magical in terms of overcoming resistances and adds 1 to attack and damage rolls for a sword that's a little buster. It's Buster. No guarantee your DM will give you a magic weapon, but if they do, you could use this to power up one of your friends as well. Carving through Mechon is really annoying without a magical weapon. Fourth level wizards get an ability score improvement, and hey, look, you don't use any spells that require your intelligence modifier, so bump that dexterity for more accurate and damaging attacks with your special sword. I don't really want any other second level spells, so let's scoop up Identify, which will tell you what a magical item is, what it does, and how many charges it has left in it if the weapon has charges. You get to use the Monado because you studied it. Well, not really, but it's a spoiler if I explain why you can really use it. The sword is Shulk's dad. Sorry if you haven't played the game. I'm throwing people off again. That's not the real spoiler. Fifth level wizards can learn third level spells. Haste is the best speed spell, doubling a target's movement speed, adding 2 to their AC, giving them advantage on dexterity saves, and letting them make an extra action on their turns for an attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use action. It lasts for a minute depending on your concentration, though when it ends, creatures can't take actions or reactions for 1 round, as your abilities are kind of resetting, so watch out for that. Sixth level divination wizards get expert divination, which we're not going to talk about too much because you don't actually have any divination spells, but oh well, whatever. Basically, when you use a divination spell of second level or higher, you can recover a spell slot lower than the spell you cast, but you don't have any divination spells of second level or higher, so just grab Counterspell. It's the shieldiest of shield spells, automatically shutting down spells of third level or lower, and higher level spells with an intelligence check of 10 plus the spell's level. It's so 1-for-1 with the shield art in the Xenoblade games. It's really nice when it just works out like that. 7th level wizards can learn 4th level spells. Stone Skin is another armor art that gives a creature resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for up to an hour depending on your concentration if you want to shut down physical damage for your allies. Or, I guess, for one ally. 8th level wizards get another ability score improvement, letting you cap off your dexterity modifier for maximum slashing. You're like an extra focused Gish at the moment, but we'll get some more combat skills in a second, I promise. One last spell here, Protection from Energy, gives a creature you touch resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage for an hour depending on your concentration. It's not every kind of ether, but it covers a lot of bases. Well, it can cover one base, but you'll probably know which base needs to be covered when you're fighting something that's shooting acid out of its face. We'll round this off with some fighter levels because, hey, you're a swordsman, who knew? You get a fighting style. Dueling is pretty great. It adds 2 to your damage rolls with a weapon you're wielding one-handed. With a scimitar, there's no reason to use 2 hands, so hooray, that should work. The reason we're not using a longsword is because a longsword isn't finesse, so you can't get backslash with it. Even though it's versatile, so you could go one-handed or two-handed, a scimitar just works better if you want to do the backslash. If you don't care about that, invest in your strength. You also get Second Wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action per short rest for some light heal, but just for yourself. Second level fighters get Action Surge, letting you make 2 actions instead of 1 in your turn, once per short rest. Hey, did somebody say speed art? But the Smash version, not the Xenoblade version? I mean, I guess you could use that action to dodge, so it's kind of like the Xenoblade version. Third level fighters can choose a martial archetype. Battle Masters are students of war, letting you choose a set of artisan's tools to be proficient with. I'd go with smith's tools, even though calligraphy is an option. Shulk has the power of Monado, not the power of a god. You also get 4 superiority die, which are d8s you can use for maneuvers, special things you can do to your attacks. You learn 3 maneuvers at this level. Distance Strike increases your attack distance with a melee attack by 5 feet, and you get to add the superiority die to the damage, which should be a solid purge art. Distracting Strike gives the next creature to attack a creature advantage on their attack, letting you add your superiority die to the damage. I'd say that's the closest you're going to get to breaking for some air slashery. Also, a teenager with a 5-foot vertical leap is pretty distracting. sweeping. Sweeping attack lets you add your superiority die to the damage of your attack and deal that damage to another target within 5 feet of the original, as long as the attack would hit them too, for a bit of the stream edge. 4th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Since you're just casting buffs, I'd recommend Constitution for your casting ability, and hey, extra HP, never a bad thing. 5th level fighters get an extra attack, letting you attack twice instead of once with your action. If you want to scramble these levels around when you're building this at home, I might recommend the fighter levels ahead of the wizard levels. I put them in here because the Monado is what separates Shulk from being another anime sword boy, and the wizard powers are much more indicative of your special Monado abilities. 6th level fighters get another ability score improvement. An intelligence bump would help our intelligence skills, but the biggest buff from it would be better counter spelling. It's a really nice little spell, especially when you roll well and get to waste an enemy's 9th level slot with a 3rd level slot. It just feels good. 7th level battle masters get to know their enemy, which lets you know about a creature's strength, dexterity, constitution, HP, AC, fighter levels, or total levels, and whether they're less than, greater than, or equal to you in 2 of those regards after a minute of study. This could be from fighting them in a future vision, or just because Xenoblade shows you your enemy's levels automatically. You also get 2 more maneuvers. Tripping attack lets you force a strength saving throw of 8 plus your proficiency bonus and dexterity modifier on a creature of large or smaller, knocking them prone if they fail, with extra damage from the superiority die. Technically, Cyclone should be hitting a lot of people, but this should at least get that topple effect going, giving everyone advantage to hit the target with melee attacks until they stand up. I'm not choosing the rally ability because even though it would heal your allies, it involves your charisma modifier, so it's not as good. Instead, I'm going for Commander's Strike. It lets an ally attack as a reaction and add your superiority die to the damage. I feel like this has good chain attack energy, especially because you can replace one of your attack rolls on your turn with your extra attack with this one, so you can attack and then your ally can attack. It does use your bonus action though. 8th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Let's invest in our Constitution again for better concentration and 19 more HP at this level, because Constitution buffs your HP retroactively as well. You know how sometimes when you see into the future, you don't change the outcome and kind of end up doing the same thing twice? Our capstone is the 4th level of Rogue for an ability score improvement. Let's invest in our Constitution again for better concentration and 20 more HP at this level, because Constitution buffs your HP retroactively as well. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you've got a ton of support options with spells, bonus action help, and maneuvers to help your team fight in tip-top shape. You're also very mobile with cunning action and other methods to buff your speed to get you where you need to be for the best positioning possible. Finally, you can manipulate rolls, which is always fun thanks to the Lucky Feet and Portents. 2 of those, you'll know exactly what the roll is before you use it. For weaknesses, you're kind of all over the place. 3d6 sneak attack is okay, 1 extra attack is okay, 4th level spells are okay, but none of that is great at 20th level. You're also rocking a lot of concentration spells, meaning you're gonna have to pick and choose what you want to use. Finally, you're not great at talking to people, which can make for some tough roleplay checks. But just rewind time and flirt better. I'm sure that's what you're using it for. Though you could also use it to avoid dying a bunch, and that's pretty good. Just do whatever you're feeling. Just make sure that you're keeping your party in tip-top shape. Otherwise, you might be really feeling it, and it is being dead. In this case, you're dead. You died. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Make sure you're subscribing to Tulok and Mango as well. Maybe we'll play Xenoblade eventually. Probably not, it's super long. But if you ask for it over there, we might do it. You have to ask for it a lot though.